Give it up once again for Ayushmann Khurrana.
Hi everyone, thanks for this amazing introduction. I've never heard you speak in Hindi that much. यारो का यार, स्टारों का स्टार.
और बात करते हैं हिंदी में, ऐसा भी क्या है? हिंदी सिनेमा पे लिखते हैं तो थोड़ा हिंदी तो बोल ही सकते हैं.
मुझे पता है बिहार से है.
बिहार से भी है. But you know, I have to say the session today इस बार तो मैं आपसे ये पूछ लूँ थोड़ा हिंदी में ही कि अगर कोई प्रोडक्ट को डिजाइन करते हैं हम या कोई ऐप डेवलप करते हैं तो you know there is a problem and then you solve that problem. But when it comes to cinema and storytelling, Ayushmann, is there a formula for disruption? Because it's about emotions, it's about connecting with large number of people with stories, as it were. Is there a formula?
We are in the business of selling emotions, that's for sure. There is no formula, the only formula is to break every formula. That's what I feel. There's another formula that the formula changes every 5 years because whatever is relevant right now may be completely irrelevant 5 years down the line. At the same time, there's another formula of staying rooted as much as possible. Be Indian to stay relevant because हम इंडिया को कहानियाँ बेचेंगे. तो I think जितना हिंदुस्तानी रहेंगे, जितना grassroots level से connected रहेंगे, I think that's the formula.
The other formula, of course, and this is not a formula, it just happens sometimes in everyone's career, Ayushmann, is the fact that you know there are certain decisions you take. There are certain things you say yes to. Even more importantly, certain things you say no to. And that changes your life, that changes your career, your trajectory, that changes the way you are in your profession. When you look back at the number of years that you've been in the entertainment industry, films is just one part of it. Even before that, you were RJ, you were VJ, you were working in television. Is there a moment that you can remember that you said yes or no to that completely changed your life?
I've taken these baby steps towards success, being a journalist. I'm a student of journalism, did radio, television, theatre. Saying no is the most difficult part, especially on the onset of your career. When you're young, you just started, and saying no to big people is not easy. But that's what makes you. If you have to go with your conviction, with your gut, with your intuition. But I think saying yes to one certain film, Article 15, changed the perception because I was known for
I think, yeah, कंजूसी ना करें आप तालियों में.
Thank you so much. It changed the perception because I was known for very light-hearted social comedies, and Article 15 was a very serious film based on casteism, and it did commercially really well, which was an anomaly. पर मैंने हाँ नहीं की थी, मैंने वो छीनी थी फिल्म अनुभव सिन्हा से.
Really?
क्योंकि उनकी मुल्क फिल्म मैंने देखी थी और मुझे बहुत पसंद आई थी. तो उन्होंने मुझे कुछ एक रोम कॉम ऑफर की थी. मैंने कहा सर मैं ये नहीं, आप ये इस रास्ते पे निकलो जिस रास्ते में चल रहे हो, वही रास्ता मुझे चाहिए. एंड he had this script and he never thought about me in that script. I was like, that's the kind of reinvention I wanted that time. And Article 15 gave me a lot of respect as an artist.
Because it shows. But you know, I have to say, like when you take a film like Article 15, or for that matter even Untold, or even Vicky Donor, which was your first film, first feature film. You know, one could define these films as hybrid. Hybrid in the sense that, of course, they're mainstream films because they connect with vast audiences. They're accessible movies. But at the same time, they also push the envelope. They challenge the status quo of what commercial cinema can be. Would that be a correct definition, a hybrid movie?
I've always done hybrid movies. From day one, that was my staple. From Vicky Donor to Dum Laga Ke or Shubhankar series. Hybrid, always. I think the risk to reward ratio is very different when you see it from my lens. Because these films are not very expensive. They are low budget to mid budget films with high on content. So itna risk to le sakte hain. But at the same time it gives you a different high because coming from the street theatre background, we had this discussion in our longest interview like some 5 years back,
yes,
6 years back.
Sit with hit list, YouTube, Ayushmann Khurrana. Plug kar deta hu.
In that, I'm a part of street theatre renaissance in Chandigarh, and we used to mix social issues with entertainment, and this seems to be like the extension of my theatre personality. But having said that, the entertainment quotient should always overpower the messaging. क्योंकि ऑडियंस बच्चे की तरह होती है, उनको मीठी गोली देनी पड़ती है दवाई की. नहीं तो दवाई कड़वी लगेगी तो मज़ा नहीं आएगा. So entertainment has to overpower the messaging, subtle messaging with entertainment. That's more important.
Right. You know, I have to say, let's call them hybrid films for definition's sake, because कुछ ऐसा होता नहीं है. फिल्में तो फिल्में होती हैं, अच्छी होती हैं, बुरी होती हैं, and अच्छा भी बुरा नहीं होता है. Depends on who's watching and what they love to watch. But there was a perception, or there has been a perception, Ayushmann, that in the entertainment industry there was a pre-pandemic world and a post-pandemic world. In the sense कि एक तरह की फिल्में बनती थी, वो हिट होती थी, उसमें आयुष्मान खुराना होते थे, and you know it would cross a certain kind of numbers in the box office, and फिर एक pandemic आया, and then it redefined what a film in a theatre is likely to be, what a film on an OTT is likely to be. Firstly, do you agree with this definition कि कुछ फिल्में OTT की होती हैं, कुछ थिएटर की होती हैं, and do you think there is such a thing as a pre-pandemic entertainment world and a post-pandemic entertainment world? Thirdly, do you think it's a phase?
Okay, I think we've had this like crazy discussions on this subject for the past 5 years, half a decade.
Yes.
I really believe a good subject, a good script is a good script, but at the same time, I have deviated post-pandemic.
Okay.
Whatever my choices were pre-pandemic, they were more taboo-based. I'm staying slightly away from taboo, but not from quirk. So it has to be for a bigger palette, larger palette, more rooted, more commercial in a way. My lineup right now is Thama, which is my first big Diwali release. Then followed by, I'm doing a Suraj Barjatya film, which is again for a wider audience.
Right.
Then I'm doing a Dharma film, again a wider audience. But मैं बीच में पंगा लेता रहूँगा. वो जो टेढ़ी फिल्में होते हैं वो करता रहूँगा, because that's my core. I can't get rid of that, but at the same time I need to make sure that it's not a taboo. It was short.
So tell me the difference between taboo and quirk.
Taboo could be a film on erectile dysfunction. Shobmangal Sadhana is taboo.
जी.
A commercial film on LGBT is again taboo for the mainstream audience. But at the same time, if you go with Badhai Ho, that's more commercial. It's quirky, taboo yet quirky but more commercial. But that happens in India. A 50-year-old, 55-year-old woman may get pregnant. It happens. It's so anything which is not an anomaly, which goes with a wider palette, it's more commercial and more theatrical. But taboo films can go for OTT. But that's the irony. We need to reach those kind of films need to be reached to the grassroots level. तो वो पंगा जैसे मैं रोल लेता रहूँगा बीच में, you have to balance it out.
I think one tends to forget one of the biggest hits that someone took, and here I mean the opposite of hit, is you during the pandemic. I mean, Gulabo Satabo was a film directly to digital. It was supposed to be a theatrical release. Would Gulabo Satabo be taboo or quirky?
गुलाब सिताबो
अमिताभ बच्चन है,
यार मुझे काम करना था अमिताभ बच्चन के साथ, और मेरे गुरु की फिल्म है सुजीत सरकार की, तो फिल्म मुझे करनी ही थी. वो उस लेंस से मैं देख ही नहीं रहा हूँ कि वो टैबू है, क्वर्की है, कमर्शियल है, नहीं है. अगर दादा ने बोल दिया है फिल्म करो तो करो, because he's given my first name, he's my guru, I have to do this for him.
That makes complete sense. Of course, your next one is the big one, Thama. Everyone's excited. They've seen the trailer, they've seen the teasers. They're excited without having seen the film. You've obviously made the film. What is it that you think will really excite the audiences when they actually go to the theatres?
Well, Thama is a kind of a genesis. It carries forward the chapter, a new chapter in Maddock horror comedy universe. It's based out of Indian folklore. We've heard about Betals, and Thama is the most powerful Betal. And as I said earlier, this is my first Diwali release. मुझे एक दशक से ज़्यादा हो गया है फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में, पर अभी तक मेरी कोई फेस्टिवल रिलीज हुई नहीं. This is my biggest release in terms of scale and marketing and the kind of universe. I think it's the most successful universe in the history of Hindi cinema, and I'm very excited about it. तो एक कमर्शियल फिल्म है, दिवाली की फैमिली एंटरटेनर है.
And your monos are back, हाँ? आपके दांत वापस आ गए हैं?
दांत मैंने कटवा दिए. फिल्म के लिए रखे थे, पर वो निकल गया.
But is that a recurring theme though? I mean, it's a common man in extraordinary circumstances that still becomes an Ayushmann Khurrana film. That's been a recurring theme through most of your films. Would that still be correct?
हर एक का एक स्टेपल जोन होता है. मेरा स्टेपल जोन है कॉमन मैन का. I think we need to celebrate and champion common folk with their idiosyncrasies and their flaws. And I think there's certain heroism in it. वो relatable होता है and it's very encouraging for a common man. And me coming from like a two-tier city, I think I've lived that life. I have had a very diverse upbringing. मेरे खानदान में अमीर से अमीर और गरीब से गरीब लोग हैं, extended family में. तो वो बहुत diversity के साथ lived in experiences होते हैं ज़िंदगी के, जो I think पर्दे पे उतारते हैं as an artist.
आयुष्मान, आपने खानदान का जिक्र किया, and I have to say from the Khurrana family, a huge Khurrana on the scene. You were talking about Maddock horror comedy universe. There's already a boy in that universe from Stree 2, that's Apar Shakti Khurrana, your brother. He did Jubilee in 2023, which I thought was fabulous, loved by everyone who's watched it on Amazon Prime Video. What's it like to have a sibling in the same profession?
I think it's beautiful. He never wanted to be an actor to begin with. He wanted to be a cricketer. He was Haryana captain of under-19.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's played nationals.
Batsman or a bowler?
Yeah. Huh?
Batsman or bowler?
Batsman, opening batsman and a crazy stick fielder. But certainly he wanted to be an actor. And he's such a natural because of his upbringing. He's played for Haryana, he knows Haryanvi, Punjabi, all the languages, very rooted. And I was not surprised in Jubilee because मुझे पता था उसके अंदर वो है. He was always known for his comic timing, but he surprised the world with Jubilee with this serious, Bengali character, and I loved him completely in Jubilee. I'm so proud of him.
I have a theory about siblings in the same profession. The elder one always tends to do better, purely because एक first mover advantage होता है, except in sports, because you mentioned cricket, because the younger one has actually played with the older one from a very young age. But of course, he's just starting out. This is about you.
But I really believe that there's no barometer for that. वो बहुत खुश आदमी है. वो एक दिन में 10 चीजें करता है. Success से क्या, इसका क्या tangible थोड़ी होता है. Measure क्या करते हो? I think he's a natural sports person. He's a great musician also at the same time. He travels a lot. He lives his life to the fullest. I think he's far more successful than me.
And of course, he also has a long way to go. But you had a crazy run, Ayushmann. And of course, you'll continue to have a crazy run from here on as well. When you look back at your years, and you at Vicky Frames organize a retrospective of your works, you had to pick 5 films. What would those 5 films be?
It's difficult to choose. It's not easy. I'll start with my first film, Vicky Donor.
Of course.
Dam Laga Ke Aisha. Andhadhun. Article 15. I don't know about Shobhangal series or Dream Girl, but there's an underdog film called Action Hero. I'm really proud of it. And I hope Thama makes to the list when you watch it this Diwali, 2 weeks from now. Yeah.
Which will be a commercial success, I hope, and I wish the movies that you mentioned have also been very widely loved. There's one that you missed, I think, and which I think is developing a cult of its own over the years, and I learned it from young people, is a movie called Meri Pyari Bindu. It's one of those films, and I really hope that you continue to do these amazing movies, Ayushmann Khurrana. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Ayushmann Khurrana.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you.